I'm Reggie Ponder, the Real Critic, and this is the 511. Hey, this is Reggie Ponder, the Real Critic with the BlackBoxOffice.com, and we have an opportunity to talk to Nate Parker about his new movie. Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Reggie. How are you, brother?
Doing real good, man. You got this new movie, Blood Done Signed My Name. Talk about it. Tell me what's it about?
Well, the film is about an incident that happens in Oxford, North Carolina, where Dr. Ben Chavis, the person I portray, comes back from school and from UNC, and his cousin is murdered in a lynching in 1970. And it's funny because a lot of people think the civil rights movement ended in the 60s, and this is something that happened in 1970.
In
1970, yes, and the film deals with how he organized a community around this event to really deal with some of the injustice in that city at the time.
In this film, obviously, you play a very pivotal character in terms of really galvanizing this community and trying to seek redress. What really inspired you or made you want to take on this role?
I really looked at this role as an opportunity to use the model that Dr. Chavis had created then when he was 22 to kind of bring into the present day to deal with the injustices that we're facing now. I worked with Jeb Stewart, who was the director. He was an incredible writer and director. He brought this from the book, and Tim Tyson's the writer. It was a collaborative effort. We did everything we possibly could to bring a truth to the screen so we can have an authentic account of what happened and how it was dealt with and the impact of empowering a community.
When you talk about Ben Chavis, I mean, being such an icon, a pivotal figure in civil rights, did you get a chance to meet him, and then how did you prepare for this role?
Well, to answer your first question, how I got a chance to meet with him was once the film was pretty much done, we got a cut, and I got to come and sit with him in New York and discuss,
Wow.
his life, his legacy, the things that he did with even after when this period took place, when he went on to Wilmington and spent time in prison. And all the sacrifices he made for the community. I was brought to this role by Jeb. He called me and told me that he was doing this film, sent me the script and the book, and I read it, and I was on board immediately. I felt like it was a book that, for the first time, it was dealing with race, and it was dealing with, systemic racism and, white superiority, all and white supremacy, all in truth, not from the standpoint of paternalism. But it was dealing with it as to, how it happened, how they deal with it, and there's so many lessons looking back then, that time period, as to how we can use it today to deal with, the prison system, prison industrial complex, the rampant dropping out of, young, black men and women, and all kinds of things, disease in the community. It created a model that we can use. It was a time, anyone that thinks that the civil rights movement ended in the 60s, they just don't know their history. If you look at the Black Panther movement and how that carried all the way in, the 70s were an explosive time in black history. And there was a lot of progress made in those years, but I think that there is this attempt to kind of sweep those things under the rug in our goal of trying to get past those things. But Tim Tyson says in this book, he says the only way, any psychiatrist will tell you, the only way to deal with, the trauma of a situation is through truthful confrontation with the past. And I think that is what we need to do. Film being my platform, I think that is what I'm called to do, is to see how I can use my platform as a mirror to kind of look in the rear view so I can know where I'm going forward in the future.
You seem to want to take on roles like in Pride, The Great Debaters, these type of roles that are a little bit more meaty than what you might see sometimes from African Americans on the big screen. Talk about that and talk about your search for work and how you determine whether you're going to take that role.
Well, I think that we're all given a platform, no matter how small, and with that platform, we're given a responsibility. And for me, it's my community. I drew my line in the sand a long time ago that there are certain things I wouldn't do in film, and that I wouldn't allow my give back or my commitment to my community to be something that's done with 2% of my time. That I would try everything that I could and do my very best to allow everything that I do to have some kind of substance and integrity that I can take back and speak to and educate my people with. So, I mean, so as far as looking for projects, step one, it has to have integrity. It can't be something that's going to emasculate me or take away my strength or empowerment as a black man in America,
Absolutely.
And two, it has to be something that, I believe in. There are a lot of stories out there, and some stories I think aren't, as important to tell.
Okay.
Then there's some stories that I will fight to get them told.
So talking about this story that you're in right now, why should people go check this one out?
I think people should go and check out Blood Inside My Name because, like I said before, it creates a model to dealing with some of the things that ail our community today. It provides solutions. Everyone's talking about, well, what's the solution? We know the statistics. What's the solution? And this gives you a clear step-by-step way into, one, identifying and knowing your history. Marcus Garvey says, people without knowledge of itself is like a tree without roots.
Right.
And I think it's interesting that, when the wind blows, we fall over and we wonder why. It's because we're not rooted in something that's positive, that's strong, that's reflective of us. So I think that the first step is knowing your history. And then two, understanding that, like Dr. King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We have to understand that if we are, for me, being a man of faith, if I am to call myself that, I need to understand that God is on the side of the oppressed. Wow. And if I am calling myself a man of faith, then I have a responsibility to posture against injustice everywhere I see it. The movie comes out February 19th.
Your brother shot that boy!
We, the members of the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
They need a leader.
I'm Reggie Ponder, the Real Critic.